great players. They have a great organization. And you tell them one thing.
What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into it. Topic of today's video is our running back Josh Jacobs. A quick update about Josh Jacobs. He recently went on the Pro Football Talk show with Mike Florio and Chris Sims, and Josh Jacobs spoke about his potential contract coming up with the Raiders and some other things that really just show us what the future could be between Josh Jacobs and the Raiders. Josh Jacobs is coming off of a career season where he led the league in rushing yards and even mentioned that he preferred that the Raiders declined his fifth-year option last offseason, which eventually ended up happening because that would allow Josh Jacobs to essentially be in the driver's seat going into such a crucial contract year. So we can definitely see that Josh Jacobs was very confident and motivated going into this season, and he has put himself really in a great position to potentially get paid long term if the Raiders can finalize a deal for Josh Jacobs. Now, although that's the most ideal scenario to secure Josh Jacobs long term, personally, I do think the most likely outcome though will be that Josh Jacobs will get franchise tagged, and that has brought a lot of speculation on how Josh Jacobs would potentially react to this outcome, and even whether or not this could potentially fracture the relationship between Josh Jacobs and this front office. Josh Jacobs did speak about the possibility of being franchise tagged, and this is what he said.
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want to get franchise tagged. I mean, I feel like nobody really do. But to me, I wouldn't mind it if, they got the right guys in the building around us, like they got to, put some guys on defense, figured out the quarterback situation, got some guys up front. Then I would be like, okay, I really wouldn't mind coming back, on a franchise tag. But if you want me to come back and be the hero, then you have to pay me like a hero.
Now, as we heard, Josh Jacobs is not 100% opposed to getting franchise tagged, but if he does get hit with that tag, he expects this roster to be built a certain type of way. Essentially, what I took from these comments and Josh Jacobs is Josh Jacobs would only be okay with a franchise tag if this team essentially goes all in next season in terms of building a roster that seriously can compete in the NFL. And to me, that scenario would basically mean that the Raiders would need to trade for Aaron Rodgers, and they need to go all in on defense after that. By doing this, you give your roster the best chance to compete in the near future, which is really what I think Josh Jacobs wants, especially if he gets hit with the franchise tag. As he mentioned, if you want me to be the hero, then you need to pay me like the hero. And look, that's 100% reasonable. And I think definitely Josh Jacobs has a point there. And as we have seen throughout the season, he definitely has been frustrated for quite a while, especially after that terrible loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he essentially told everyone that he was sick and tired of losing. Josh Jacobs also mentioned the fact that he wants to be a Raider for life and how he wants to retire as a Raider, and I absolutely love those comments. Some important deadlines to keep in mind with Josh Jacobs and this whole contract situation would be February 21st, which is the first official day the Raiders can apply the franchise tag to any one of their players, and the deadline to franchise tag Josh Jacobs would be March 7th. So essentially, that's March 7th is almost about a month. If the Raiders cannot get close to a long-term deal with Josh Jacobs, they will definitely franchise tag him. Who knows, maybe they franchise tag him and then a month later or so they are able to finalize a long-term deal. But as I mentioned, I definitely think the most likely scenario is a franchise tag coming for Josh Jacobs. The franchise tag for Josh Jacobs is approximately $10.8 million next season, and to me, if the Raiders franchise tag Josh Jacobs, then I think they will have to be very aggressive in building a roster that can compete next season. Because really the last thing Josh Jacobs would want is for us to go sign a bridge quarterback, draft a rookie quarterback, essentially get way cheaper at the quarterback position, and then see the Raiders still not choosing to invest in Josh Jacobs, secure him to a long-term deal. That's something that I definitely don't think he would stand for. Because if we're going to go that route, you might as well invest in Josh Jacobs. So I definitely think Josh Jacobs will be back next season as a Raider, no matter what. Now, whether that's on a franchise tag or a secured to long-term deal, that is to be seen. But as I mentioned, I definitely am leaning towards the possibility of Josh Jacobs getting franchise tag, and as we know now, he's not 100% opposed to it. Obviously, he ideally wants to get secured long term, but if he gets hit with that tag, he expects the Raiders to build a quality roster. This guy wants to win as soon as possible, and I don't blame him, because me as a fan, I am in the same boat with him. I want us to win so damn bad. It's been way too long for this franchise. But also, some other news is the fact that Derek Carr has officially completed his visit with the New Orleans Saints, and he will return to Las Vegas after reportedly also canceling visits with other teams like the Carolina Panthers. And he did have 2 separate meetings with the Saints, and with him canceling on the Panthers, it could really mean one of 2 things. Either Carr is set and he has essentially made up his mind on being traded to New Orleans, or it could also just mean that Derek Carr would rather just wait until the deadline to see whether or not he will get released. And if the Raiders release him, then he will go and take his time to find what situation he wants to join for his future. We will just see. Hopefully, whatever the Raiders do, they do it soon. If we can get draft capital for Derek Carr, then awesome. If not, let's just cut our losses and move forward to build this roster for next season. I don't want us to have him on the roster past that February 15th deadline, but it's also a possibility that the Raiders may go that route. Primarily, I just want us to find out what direction we want to go in terms of quarterback next season. I want that direction to be determined as soon as possible, and also I want to get those $30 million added to our cap salary. That way we can invest on defensive help in free agency. But Raider Nation, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Josh Jacobs will get hit with that franchise tag? Do you think Derek Carr will get traded here soon? Let me know. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.